Welcome to Beyond the Smile, the podcast where we dive deep into dental health, nutrition, and everything that makes life more beautiful.
All right, so get this, listeners. Today we're going to dive into something that might just change how you think about your next dental appointment. You know how we tend to treat dental health like it's its own separate thing?
Yeah.
Well, get ready, because today we're going deep into a report from Prime Dental Group.
Okay.
And it's going to reveal some honestly fascinating connections between your mouth and your overall wellness.
You know, the thing that really struck me about this report was how it highlights the oral cavity, your mouth, as a gateway to the rest of your system. It's not just like an isolated area. Your mouth interacts with everything. I mean, everything, from your digestion to your breathing to your blood flow.
So it's more than just, a pretty smile. We're talking about a major player in our overall health.
Absolutely. The report, it actually dives into the crucial role of saliva.
Okay.
Most people, they probably just think of it as like, well, spit.
Right.
But it's so crucial for defending your mouth.
Okay, so break this down for me. How is saliva more than just, something that keeps things from getting too dry?
Well, it's packed with all these compounds that neutralize acids and wash away food debris and actually fight off harmful bacteria.
Really?
Think of it as your mouth's own personal security team.
Interesting. So I'm guessing if we slack off on dental care, we're essentially leaving that security team short-staffed.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really interesting. This report highlights a connection between poor oral hygiene and conditions that you wouldn't necessarily think are related to your teeth. For example, a growing body of research is linking poor oral health to heart disease.
Hold on. Heart disease, that seems like a pretty big leap from a little plaque on your teeth. How does that even work?
It all comes down to inflammation. You know how your gums can get red and swollen if you haven't been flossing?
Yeah.
Well, that inflammation, it actually creates a pathway for bacteria to sneak into your bloodstream. And guess where those bacteria can end up? Bingo. They can contribute to the buildup of plaque in your arteries, which, as you know, is a major risk factor for heart disease. In fact, there are some studies that show that people with gum disease, they have 2 to 3 times the risk of having a heart attack compared to people with healthy gums.
Wow. Okay, I never realized the connection was that strong. And to think, we often view dental health as purely cosmetic.
Right. And it goes beyond just heart disease. The report also mentions connections to diabetes, respiratory infections, and even complications during pregnancy.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. Let's unpack some of these. First up, diabetes. How does that fit into the oral health picture?
It's a two-way street. High blood sugar, which is a key characteristic of diabetes. It can actually create an environment in your mouth. That makes gum infections worse. And get this, gum disease can actually make it harder to control blood sugar levels. So it's this vicious cycle.
So if you're someone struggling to manage their diabetes, and you also have gum disease, taking better care of your mouth could actually help with those blood sugar levels.
That's right. It really underscores just how interconnected our health is. And speaking of connections, let's talk about respiratory infections. The report specifically mentions pneumonia.
Yeah, that one seems a bit out of left field.
Well, think about it. We breathe through our mouths, right?
Right.
If there's all this buildup of harmful bacteria in your mouth because of poor dental hygiene, that bacteria can be inhaled directly into the lungs.
Oh, I can see how that would be especially concerning for older adults who might already be more susceptible to infections.
Absolutely. And then there's the link between gum disease and pregnancy complications. Did you know that hormonal changes during pregnancy can actually make your gums more susceptible to inflammation? And this inflammation has been linked to a higher risk of preterm birth and low birth weight babies.
Wow, so taking care of your teeth during pregnancy isn't just about your own health, but about the health of the baby as well.
Precisely. Now, this brings us to a key takeaway from the report, the impact of chronic inflammation.
Okay.
Particularly when it comes to advanced gum disease, known as periodontitis.
Okay, periodontitis. That sounds serious. Is that just a fancy word for really bad gingivitis?
Not quite. Gingivitis is the early stage of gum disease. It's when your gums get inflamed, but it hasn't affected the bone or other supporting structures of your teeth yet.
Okay.
Periodontitis is more advanced. That's when the inflammation has progressed and is causing damage to the tissues and bone that support your teeth. And here's the kicker. The inflammation from periodontitis It doesn't stay put in your mouth.
It's like that domino effect we talked about earlier.
Yes. Think of it as a silent fire smoldering in your mouth that can spread to other parts of your body. And remember those inflammatory markers linked to heart disease? Well, periodontitis is a major contributor to those elevated levels. In fact, research is showing that periodontitis can increase your risk for a whole host of chronic diseases, from heart disease and diabetes to even rheumatoid arthritis.
So treating periodontitis isn't just about saving your teeth. It's about putting out that silent fire and protecting your overall health.
That's exactly right. And it goes even deeper than that.
Wow.
The report suggests that your mouth, it can actually act as like an early warning system
Yeah.
for potential health issues you might not even know you have.
An early warning system. Now that's what I call a deep dive. Tell me more about this. How can our mouths be sending up red flags about other health problems?
Well, certain oral health problems can be early indicators of underlying conditions. Take persistent gum disease or chronic dry mouth, for example.
Yeah.
Those can be signs of undiagnosed diabetes.
So a dentist might actually be the first one to spot a potential problem that needs further medical attention.
Exactly. It's like they're doing a bit of detective work. But instead of clues at a crime scene, it's clues in your mouth. For instance, oral lesions. Those can be an early sign of HIV/AIDS. It indicates a weakened immune system.
I had no idea. So what other clues might a dentist pick up on?
Well, something like bone loss in the jaw or loose teeth. That could point to osteoporosis, a condition that weakens the bones over time. It really highlights the importance of those regular dental checkups.
Yeah.
They're not just about cleaning your teeth. They're about getting a glimpse into your overall health.
It's like getting a whole body checkup in one place. This whole conversation is really making me think, like, we often forget that our mouths are part of our bodies,
Yeah.
We tend to think of them as like these separate entities, but this deep dive is really highlighting how much our oral health impacts everything else.
It's pretty fascinating, huh?
Yeah.
The connections are so intricate.
Exactly. But let's be real. Even knowing all this, sometimes it's still hard to find the motivation to floss every day,
Oh, I hear you. It's always a challenge to form healthy habits.
Yeah.
But maybe if we can reframe these everyday dental care tips, in light of what we've learned about the mouth-body connection,
Yeah.
they might feel, well, more meaningful.
Okay, I like that. So let's go beyond the usual, brush and floss lecture. What are some tips from the report that really stand out now that we have this bigger picture in mind?
Well, one that really struck me was the importance of hydration, especially for, older adults. As we age, our saliva production naturally declines,
Right.
which can lead to dry mouth.
And we know saliva is crucial for all those defense mechanisms we talked about earlier, like washing away food particles, neutralizing acids, fighting off bacteria.
Right. So staying hydrated, it isn't just about quenching your thirst.
Yeah.
It's about supporting your oral health and, by extension, your overall well-being. In fact, chronic dry mouth can actually increase your risk for cavities and gum disease.
Wow, I never thought about it that way. So sip that water for your teeth and your whole body. What else does the report suggest?
It also reminded me about the benefits of using mouthwash. Now, I know some people think it's just for, fresh breath, but mouthwash, it can actually help kill bacteria that brushing and flossing might miss, especially in those hard-to-reach areas.
So it's like adding an extra layer of protection to your oral security team.
Exactly. And of course, we can't forget about the dynamic duo, brushing and flossing.
Yeah.
But how do we make these daily rituals feel less like chores
Right.
and more like an investment in our health?
That's the million-dollar question.
Well, I think it helps to, shift our perspective a little bit.
Okay.
Instead of just going through the motions, try to think about it this way. Every time you brush and floss, you're actively reducing inflammation throughout your body. You're protecting your heart, and you're even supporting your immune system.
It's like a mini workout for your mouth with benefits that extend way beyond your teeth.
That's a great way to put it. And while we're on the topic of healthy habits, the report also emphasizes cutting back on sugary foods and drinks.
Right, because sugar is like feeding those pesky bacteria that cause cavities and gum disease.
Exactly. And remember, those bacteria can wreak havoc in more than just your mouth. So reducing your sugar intake is a simple but effective way to protect both your oral health and overall health.
And last but not least, the report stresses the importance of regular dental visits. But let's be honest, for some people, a trip to the dentist is right up there with a root canal on the things I'd rather avoid list.
Oh, I can understand that sentiment. But remember, those regular checkups, they're about so much more than just cleaning your teeth.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity for early detection of problems, not only in your mouth, but potentially in other parts of your body as well.
It's like that detective work we were talking about earlier. A dentist might notice something subtle that could be a red flag for a bigger health issue.
Precisely. It's about being proactive with your health rather than reactive. And this report really makes a compelling case for this profound connection between our oral health and our overall well-being.
It's like a wake-up call. You know, we often compartmentalize our health, thinking about our teeth separately from our heart or our immune system. But this deep dive is showing us that it's all connected.
We are quite literally all of a piece.
So what does this all mean for us as individuals? How do we take all this information and actually apply it to our lives?
That's the key question, isn't it? I think it starts with awareness. We need to shift our mindset and view dental health as an integral part of our overall well-being. It's not just about avoiding cavities, it's about investing in our long-term health.
And that investment involves more than just like brushing and flossing.
Yeah.
It's about paying attention to our bodies,
Yeah.
noticing any changes in our mouths, and communicating those changes to our healthcare providers.
Absolutely. Our mouths are constantly sending us signals. It's up to us to listen and act accordingly. If you notice persistent gum inflammation or dry mouth or any other unusual changes, don't ignore them.
Yeah.
Bring them up with your dentist or doctor. They can help you figure out if there's an underlying issue that needs to be addressed.
And remember, taking care of your oral health isn't just about you. It can also have an impact on your family, especially young children and older adults who might need extra support. So it's about creating a culture of health and well-being in our homes and communities.
Precisely. And it all starts with recognizing that powerful connection between our mouths and our bodies. This deep dive has really highlighted how intricate and fascinating those connections truly are.
It's like we've been given a roadmap to better health. And it all starts with something as simple as taking care of our teeth.
It really is like we have this incredible built-in feedback system.
Yeah.
Our bodies are constantly sending us signals.
Right.
We're often just not paying attention.
I know. It's like we'll reach for a pain reliever for a headache or a cream for a rash. But how often do we actually stop and think, okay, what is my body trying to tell me?
And our mouths.
Yeah.
They're especially chatty when it comes to sending those messages. I mean, they can reveal so much about what's going on, beneath the surface.
What's really fascinating to me is that this whole idea of the mouth-body connection, it isn't some new discovery. It's been recognized for centuries in traditional medicine systems around the world.
You're right. Ayurveda, traditional Chinese medicine, even ancient Greek medicine, they all emphasize the interconnectedness of the mouth and the body.
So it's not just about modern science catching up. It's almost like we're rediscovering this ancient wisdom.
Yeah.
And integrating it with our current understanding.
I think that's a great way to put it. And as we move forward, especially with all these rising rates of chronic diseases, this holistic approach to healthcare, I think it's going to be even more crucial.
Especially because we now know that so many of these chronic conditions, they're linked to inflammation.
Right.
Which, as we've learned, can be heavily influenced by oral health.
Exactly. By addressing oral health issues early on and really understanding those connections, we might be able to prevent or at least mitigate the development of some of these chronic diseases down the line. It's about shifting from a reactive approach to a proactive one.
It's like we're starting to see that taking care of our mouths is about so much more than just having a bright white smile. It's about investing in our long-term health and well-being.
And I think that's one of the most important takeaways from this whole deep dive.
Yeah.
It's about empowering ourselves with knowledge.
Yeah.
Recognizing that we have more control over our health than we might realize.
It's almost like this report has given us a glimpse into the future of healthcare. A future where dental checkups are seen as like an essential part of preventative care, not just something you do when you have a toothache.
Imagine a world where dentists and doctors work together seamlessly, sharing information, collaborating to provide truly holistic care for each patient.
Yeah.
Where those lines between different medical specialties, they become more blurred. Because we're recognizing the interconnectedness of all the systems in the body.
And where individuals are empowered to take control of their own health, armed with the knowledge and the tools to make informed decisions about their well-being.
That's a future I think we can all get behind. And this deep dive, with its exploration of the mouth-body connection, it feels like a step in the right direction.
Absolutely. It's shown us that our mouths, they're more than just a place to chew our food.
Right.
They're like a window into our overall health, a source of valuable information, and a really powerful tool for preventative care.
So to our listeners out there, as you go about your day, I encourage you to take a moment to really appreciate the incredible complexity and interconnectedness of your body. It's truly remarkable.
And remember, even small changes in your daily habits, they can have a big impact on your health and happiness. Brush, floss, stay hydrated, see your dentist regularly, and most importantly, pay attention to the messages your body is sending you.
Because when it comes to your health, knowledge is power. And the journey to well-being, as we've discovered, it can start with something as simple as taking care of your teeth.
Well said. And on that note, we'll wrap up our deep dive for today. Thank you all for joining us on this exploration of the fascinating connection between dental health and overall wellness.
Until next time, keep those smiles shining and those bodies thriving.
Take care, deep divers.